This is Athletes Lives Network. I'm sitting here today. My pleasure to be sitting with Anthony Dowdell, football star, legend, East Chicago Central High School, class of 1990. What's going on, Stride?
Nothing much, Carl. Thanks for having me. I know we've been doing a lot of things with our alumni game and stuff like that, your Athletes Live Network, so I'm proud to be able to do an interview for you now. So.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I've been waiting for a long time to get you. Now we're here and take advantage of this. As you know, my method of the questions and things like that is to get your past experiences and how can your experiences help others that's coming behind us, as you know. Starting off, just give us a little feedback on who you are and how you got started in football. I mean, in sports, period, at a young age.
Well, right now, I'm a family man. Married to my wife, who's a high school sweetheart. We've been married over 18 years. I have a daughter that's a Division I athlete in gymnastics. She's going to Northern Illinois this year as a freshman. So I'm doing that. I'm a family man. I work hard. I work over at one of the regional hospitals as a business analyst. So life is good. I can't complain about anything. But as far as like sports are concerned, the way I came into sports is that my family, we're loaded with athletes. So I mean, it was just the thing to do. And I actually moved here from San Antonio when I was actually in the first grade. And my father was in the Air Force, and we traveled all over the world. And when I actually got here, I wasn't that good of an athlete, I would think, compared to these guys that was here. But we're playing with my cousins like Corey Battle, Adrian Knowles, Deion McKeith, and good friends like Jay Jernigan, Brian Husson, Anthony Hanspart, Eric Irvin. I mean, it just brought my skill level up. Well, probably it is something that I didn't have any competition elsewhere, but it actually raised up because that's all we did was play sports. So that's how I really got involved in athletics.
Gotcha. Now, as you explained with all them guys that you named, did you know offhand that you didn't have athletic ability, or was it just being exposed to this competition on a daily basis that helped you grow?
Well, I think I knew I had the athletic ability because when we were young, we played with our older cousins and the guys around the neighborhood. So when me and Corey Battle, when we were growing up, was 6th grade, 5th grade, we played with our cousins, Courtney Battle and all the guys, Rodney Cody and them that lived on our block. These guys that were in high school. So they pretty much, toughened us up as young kids to say, okay, well, you play with us, by the time you start playing with guys at your peer level, you're going to dominate because we're going to be stronger. We're stronger and tougher than you guys. When you guys get up there, you're going to be able to dominate, on your own level because the young kids, they're not playing with older guys like we were. So we were pretty tough on the low end.
As we all know, the city of Chicago is a nice-sized city. A lot of talent within that city.
Yeah.
Harborside, Calumet, EC, and we can go on. Name some of the peers outside of where you live that was people that you challenged against, maybe in the Harborside, maybe in EC, things of that nature like that.
Well, I had the fortunate experience to be able to play baseball in the EC Elks and Kiwanis League. So we played against like people like Sean Sims, who's a great pitcher in baseball. Because back then, if you didn't play like Little League, if your parents couldn't afford to get you in the Little League, you would play like the Elks and Kiwanis League, which is pretty much like a community league that was free. We came out and got free T-shirts, free hats, and put the team together. We played teams from all over the city. So Sean Sims was one because he was a great pitcher. He turned out to be my quarterback when I was a sophomore playing high school football. Freddie Warner and all those guys from the Harbor, Ron Rice, Judah Parks was a legend in East Chicago. I remember they used to talk about him hitting home runs over the lights in Cuyahoga. So guys like that, those are the peers that we had. Plus, within my own neighborhood, I mean, you couldn't get better than my cousin Corey Battle and Delmar Johnson. Those guys, I mean, you talk about kings of basketball in Calumet, those guys were it. I mean, then you add in Demond Johnson, rest his soul. He played with us, Eric Irving. So all those guys, when we were growing up, we pretty much built a strong little group of athletes coming up, and that's pretty much how our peers went. And we challenged everybody actually across the city when we used to have our little street leagues where we have Melville play against the projects or play against the guys at Raleigh Park. and things of that nature. So it was pretty fun back in those days.
As you explain, having a competition, being around a competition every day within your family and close friends, was there pressure to get better, or was it just an understanding of I'm gonna keep on playing, eventually I'm gonna get better? But was you pressured by your cousins? Was you pressured by peers on the other side of town?
I wouldn't say pressure. I would say it was more of a competition thing. When we competed, we always wanted to be the best. Always wanted to do more than the next person. I mean, when we're playing baseball, somebody got a single, I wanted to get a double. If somebody, ran for 10 yards, I wanted to catch a ball for 15 and get a touchdown. So it was always trying to get better. If somebody made a great tackle, I wanted to make a great tackle. So everybody pretty much brought the skill level up. And like I said, just being with the older guys, we found out how to play the game. Because when you're more mature, you can tell the little guys, okay, this is how you play, this is how you tackle, this is how you form tackle, and then how you got to be aggressive, and it gets to a point to where, okay, well, it's instilled in you, say, you're not going to be the one that's going to be on the bottom, you're going to be the one that's going to be the aggressor. So I felt that being in our background, cut that, let me back up a little bit. That being in our background, it helped us to become better athletes. I never had any pressure from any parents to say you have to get better, because my skills got better naturally, I think. So.
Gotcha. As you transition into middle school, Westside Junior High, and as you know, we didn't have no real football programs during that time. Pretty much baseball and basketball. How hard was it to compete on the basketball level when there's only being 12 spots and things of that nature?
It was very hard. I mean, playing basketball, I did it because I wanted to be with the guy. I really wasn't a good basketball player. I was more of a hustle guy, like a Dennis Rodman type. Get rebounds, foul a lot, and get to the free throw line, maybe make a couple free throws, play some defense because I was quick and I had good hands and I could actually jump and get the rebound. So that's why I played. I played to stay active with my guys. Seaboy, Delmar, Anthony Hansport, all those guys. They played good basketball. I didn't have a jump shot. I didn't have anything. I remember one time in junior high school where I got a steal at the top of the key and going all the way down court and missed the layup. So, I had things of that nature, but I was a scrapper. You know what I mean? I wasn't the greatest guy, but, after a while, I said, okay, well, maybe this is not my niche, and then I need to focus on one thing or the other. So that pretty much geared me towards football.
Gotcha. So now you're leaving Westside Junior High School. Now you transition to be a freshman, and now your new focus, your new niche that you explained was football. Give me your thoughts going into there, and how your athleticism transferred over to football with not having organized football at all until your freshman year.
Right. Well, I knew that I was a good football player. Just from playing out in the park with the guys, and playing with other guys and seeing what your skill level was. So I knew I was good at something in football. And what I usually played was probably like quarterback. We played in the streets, or I would play wide receiver or running back, something of that nature. But I think the good thing that happened was that Eric Irvin actually came and started playing quarterback. Because I really didn't want to play quarterback. When we were freshmen, they actually pegged me to be a quarterback because they thought I could probably play that position. That was something that I didn't want to do, but if I had to, I would have. And good thing that Woops came in, I was able to get into my natural position and use my athleticism with my speed and my hands to be able to go up and grab the balls and get first downs, move those chains, score touchdowns. From that freshman year, I knew that I was going to be very good at playing wide receiver because I had all the skill set for that. And the crazy thing about it is that in my family, most of the guys play running back. My father played running back. Duke Florence played running back. All the Cedric Florence, all my cousins, they play running back. My uncle Keith Dowdell, he played running back. I was pretty much, I think the next level I started, I think I was probably the first one to break that running back mold to actually start to play wide receiver.
As you explained, all your relatives that was great players. Did they ever pressure you into playing running back? Did you get any feedback from them on keeping that that tradition go on, or was it okay because you was just playing football and you was good at it?
It was just okay to play football, to be out there in the field and make plays. I think that that tradition was a great tradition because they all were great players in their time. But they never pressure you say, well, Anthony, you should play running back because your father played or your uncle played or your cousin played. It was never like that. They just wanted me to get out there and compete and, do the best that I could. So, I couldn't have it either easier because I had the support of a great family. My grandma used to be at the games with her cow bells ringing at the 50-yard line, and that was a great thing. So, the whole family got involved. So I appreciated that throughout my years in playing high school sports.
As you transition from your freshman year and now you playing varsity football, your sophomore and junior year, give us some feedback on those 2 seasons. I looked in the record books. Both of them years you finished 2-7. Give us some feedback on the records first, and then those 2 years.
Well, so my sophomore year was tough. I come from a season where we went 6-1 freshman year, so our mindset when we were freshmen was like, man, if we keep this team together, nobody in the state be able to stop us. We played against great teams, actually in conference, a Lakeshore Conference, and then the only game that we lost was to Lake Central's JV team. I'm sorry, not Lake Central, Lake Station's JV team. We lost that game, I think it was like 8-0 or something like that. So, going into my sophomore year, I really didn't have any expectations. I know I wanted to compete to try to play varsity. Because I felt that I was good enough to do that, and it just happened that I was able to outplay a lot of the upperclassmen that were on the team at the time. So, Coach Lee saw that I was able to run great precision routes, which everybody comments on nowadays from the different interviews that I've seen. But yeah, I prided myself in running the right routes because if the quarterback knew where I was going to be, all he had to do was throw the ball there, and I was going to get there on time. Plus, I don't remember even dropping any balls. I'm pretty sure I maybe dropped a couple, but as far as, my recollection, anything that touched my hands, either first down or touchdown.
How did it feel in those 2 years, knowing that when you line up, you can run the ball maybe 95% of the game? Give me your feedback on that. Yeah. And being a wide receiver.
Yeah, it was tough back in those days. Even in my sophomore year, I remember the first touchdown I caught against Lew Wallace. It was an out and up route. Sean Sims threw the ball in the air when I came out of my break, and all I remember is just hearing dead silence and just looking up at the ball and catching it in the zone. And after that, it was just like, I was like, man, this is going to be easy for me after my sophomore year. Scored a couple of touchdowns my sophomore year. As a matter of fact, my best game was against Bishop Knowles. That year, I actually scored 2 touchdowns that game against Bishop Knowles, and I was like, well, if it's going to be this easy, years after that, I'm expected to get big time numbers, and I just wanted to win. Our records were so bad back then, and just being a receiver and always wanting the ball, always thinking that you're open. And it was kind of hard, but as a team, you want to go out, do your assignment so that the running back can do what they had to do. You get out there, you had to block, you had to chip on the linebacker, you do what you had to do. It was real tough as a receiver, and I wish that I actually played in a more open offense, but coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Yeah. So you consider yourself the ultimate team player, knowing that when you go in a game, you're gonna have limited touches, and that the running backs and everybody else gonna get a lot of the shine in the press.
Sure.
So when that happens, what's your mind state? Who encouraged you to stay focused and keep playing?
The coaches that we had back then, they would say, we're doing this for a reason. And I was always a game player, so I'm like, when my opportunity came, I just always made sure I was ready. If they called my play, I was like, okay, I'm gonna catch this ball. We're gonna get a first down. We're gonna move the chains. So that's the mindset that I had. I always kept. And I said, okay, well, when they call my number, just be ready to go ahead and make that play. And very limited. If you look at my stats, I don't think I had no more than 25 catches in a season. I think maybe the most I had was probably 20, and that was my junior year. And 9 of those was in one game against Crown Point. And I put up like 109 yards. So if you consider that, if you extrapolate that, if you average that out to the season, I had a pretty good season. But I mean, you know, the team was first, and you know, we didn't do well, but you know, that's what can you say? I mean, that's football. There's nothing you really can do about that.